What's going on, guys? Your favorite rambling redhead there. How are you doing today? Thanks for joining us again. I'm excited and ready to get back on track. So I had another video scheduled for today and recorded and edited, and I watched it and I hated it. So I filmed that. Was our last day, our last trip to Oklahoma, and we actually leave to go back up there tomorrow. So I figured instead of showing y'all that video that I didn't like, I'd take a few minutes and just show you guys and throw some clips in of everything we've done to get ready for this trip. So this trip was supposed to be our California trip. We were supposed to be going to California. It just turns out that really wasn't going to be financially feasible. So instead we're going to our property in Tulsa for a week, almost a week. We have to be back Saturday afternoon. We're leaving Sunday after church. I have to be at church on Sunday for work. So there's that going on, but let me kind of walk you guys through a few of the things that are going on in here. First things first, we made window covers. So these are the Reflectix material from, what's the name of that place? Home Depot. It's their store brand. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head, but it's an insulated double reflective sheet, and it does a really good job keeping all the UV energy out. So we got that done on all the windows, and they are Velcroed on there, so that we can pull those off if we want the windows open or whatever. So we got that done. I got a TV mounted up here. With this TV up here, as you can see, it fills out the whole thing so that we can still open the fridge and that drawer. But I think it'll work. Well, anyway. So I picked up a couple of nice cabinet hinges here that we're gonna hopefully get this thing up there with. All right, well, I didn't record much of that because it's gotten hot in here, but it's up. As you can see, I've just used a piece of 3/4 inch MDF that was left over from an old desk, I think. And my dad has my saws, or my jigsaw, so I end up using 2 cuts with a hole saw to give me a pass through for my cables. But I have the hinges on there. The mount lifts up just fine, so I can get in there to make my connections, as well as I like to store my camera bag in there while we're traveling. So now I'm gonna pop this TV up there, and hopefully the TV's up there so that, you know, in the evenings and whatnot, we can turn TV on, put on a movie. We got a little Roku in there for it now, and I'll just hotspot my phone and we can put a movie on or something in there if everybody's not quite ready to go to bed when it gets dark enough or the bugs get bad enough that we're ready to come in. So we did that. We've done a lot of, my wife's found a lot of books. Oh, she's gonna be mad. Oh, that glue came off. So I'll pick those up in a minute. But she got new measuring spoons that are permanent for the camper, that are supposed to go on those little hooks there, but it looks like that Velcro just didn't quite stick. We got those going on. That stuff. We are really well stocked up. So this trip will kind of be the, hey, let's make sure that we are going to be able to live on this thing, because a year from today, hopefully that's what we'll be doing. So if you remember, a few weeks back for our last trip, I made these removable shelves. So this whole system comes apart and I can pop the whole thing out. There's no permanent fasteners mounted into the cabinets. If we were out doing something and suddenly we had, I don't know, a box of cereal that was too big, you can just pop that top piece out and get something taller in there, no problem. Well, I also made a set of those to go over here. So this was a closet, and it is now our large pantry. Obviously, we won't travel with this thing hanging on here. It is just there for the while we're here in the driveway. So those were pretty big projects. I wouldn't say big, because it didn't take too awfully long to just cut all that wood to put in there. So it's a real simple system. It's just press fit in there. There's no fasteners. They're 1/2 inch sanded plywood. So, oh yeah, before I sit down there, I'll just show y'all. We had to clean out the fridge. Had some stuff happening in there with some gnats from something that had gotten underneath the bottom drawer. So, these cushions out of the way if you're curious. What I'm pulling up right now is our under the dining table storage, and we've got our Instapot, Ninja Foodie, waffle maker, and the toaster down there. So that'll be where those guys live until we have something built to put a kitchen in. So they'll live down there while we're on these trips, because we'll be cooking with all that, because we've got all sorts of meals all sorts of meals to make while we're there. So that's in. These Reflectix really made a huge difference. I'm pretty excited about it. But yeah, got those window covers in. I've got all my vents open right now. I'm gonna have to go through and close those here in a few minutes. But I have two major other changes. So we have my window, or my AC unit here. So this was in my parents' back room of their house. It was an add-on room, a screen room that had been closed in kind of thing. Didn't have central air, so this unit was in there. It's a 13K or a 12K portable AC unit. So you can see a little hose on it there. And that is because there's supposed to be a plug. There's a 2-gallon reservoir for condensation in the bottom of that, and at some point the plug got lost. So I've now got a hose on it so I can just drag that outside in the mornings. But it runs on 110, and it has a window pocket unit that vents the hot air outside. So I had to get that all made up. Get some eyelets mounted so that it can ride right here in the middle of the camper while we're going down the road, so we don't have just load hanging off, you know, the back end. I was originally thinking about putting it in the bathtub, which is probably the best place for it functionally. But because I'm still towing with the half-ton Suburban, the less stuff I can have at the front or the back of the trailer, adding weight, the better. It'll tow better, sway better when 18-wheelers pass it, things like that. So along with that, I have the drawer unit. So you may remember these. These used to be back there at the back, with the next to the boys' bed back there, right there in that gap, because that is a twin mattress on a double frame, so to speak. It's a big storage area under there. Actually, my rope ladder, I made a rope ladder for us to use on that cliff once we get there, and it's all stored under there right now. We got the boxes made. They still need to be painted at some point, but got them in here so that we have a little bit more storage there. There's storage under the bed that I think we're actually going to end up popping the wood out of there, because right now it has the pass-through for the drawers, but there's a huge amount of space behind that we have absolutely no access to. So I think I'm going to end up popping that out as well. And yeah, I think, oh no, I do have one more little thing that we got done. So we are actually taking the animals with us this trip. So the 2 dogs and the cat will go with us. So we had to make some arrangements for them. We got a dog bed in there, cat food, kitty litter box, and all that kind of stuff. But another thing that I've done is you'll notice that my trailer tire is now slightly off center because I have trailer hitch down there. So it's a little 2-inch receiver, and it's only got a 200-pound rating on it. Obviously, I'm not pulling a trailer behind this thing. What I have is a really nice steel basket that my grandparents used to use behind their truck when they would come back up from the lake, and the camper would stay down there if they need to bring my grandmother's bike up or take stuff down or whatever the case may be. Well, I have that now, so it's actually going to go back there and have my poop tote in it and my gas cans for the generator. And that's about it. I don't think I have anything else I need to put in there this trip, but we haven't decided yet. This trip we might be leaving the camper up there because we're actually going, it is July 31st right now, so we're going back up in September, and we're going back up in October. And October will probably be our last trip for the year, so I don't know if we will bring the camper back here to winterize it, because I'd kind of like to have it here if we have a Snowmageddon, or maybe we want to use it in the fall here locally, maybe take it to Cedar Hill or Lake Whitney. But it will, otherwise it'll stay up there. We'll winterize it up there in October, because late October is the first freeze for the year up there in Tulsa. So our first freeze here is not until December, late November at the best. So we haven't made that decision yet whether it's coming back with us this trip or it's going to stay up there, but it is going in a different place. So once we get there, it will stay on the side of the shop where the boat was in the past, because I'm adding a power outlet on the back of the shop for this trip so that we can plug into it instead of having to run the generator every night. So generator burns 3 gallons or so of gas overnight. We don't run it all day. And I'd love to be able to have the AC run all day and not have to have it run so hard in the evenings to cool it back down, especially being so hot, which is why we did the Reflectix and we added the second unit. There's a 13.5K on the roof right now, so I have a 12K here, 13.5. Should be more than enough to cool this thing off quite nicely. And if it's not, we'll figure something else out. But that's those are all the big things we got going. I'm excited to share with you guys kind of what our plans are once we get up to the property. Like I said, we were there for a week. I know there's a bunch of tractors on the property that need work on. I'm going to try and record some more of that. We bought Drake his own fishing pole that's the size for him, and some more tackle, and we bought, what else? All sorts of stuff. We got all sorts of things to just hopefully make this trip a little better than the last ones and have a little bit more fun. I think we might take the boat out while we're up there, so that'll be cool. The pontoon boat, the bass boat's not anywhere near ready to go to a lake, but the pontoon boat we could probably take out while we're up there. And yeah, I think that'll do it. So there you go. Excited to get up there and start recording again. I haven't recorded while I've been home because I had 4 weeks of footage from up there, and hopefully that'll be the case again, but we'll see how that goes, because I haven't had a lot of projects going on here at the house. So since we've decided that we'll be moving to the property full-time in the not too distant future, we aren't really going to be doing a whole lot more here around the house other than, you know, getting it ready for my brother-in-law and my oldest son to stay here once we move out. So I probably won't have a whole lot of projects to do here, so we're not doing a lot of going out and doing stuff because we're pinching pennies, saving money, and shoving it all back because we plan to build a, you could call it a shed to house. It'll be shaped like a shed, but it won't be purchased from a shed company. I'll build it myself for the sake of cost on the property to live in. So, but that's all stuff we'll go over when we get up there. But anyway, I've been your favorite rambling redhead. Thanks for checking out the video today. Thanks for liking and subscribing. And I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.